Mahakumbh, the festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
Kind attention, please. Delhi Election Metro 2025 is arriving on People's Platform.
Please mind the gap.
BJP or AAP, who will get to the Delhi Secretariat station?
दरवाजे बाईं तरफ खुलेंगे.
Who will Delhi voters open the victory doors for? And who will be shown the door? Can the BJP throw AAP's victory run off track? Or will it be Kejriwal's ticket to win again? Can Congress take the election metro to revival? We will track it all for you. Delhi's decision destination.
Doors will open on the left.
Stay tuned to NDTV for mega metro poll coverage.
Well, I'm in Altadena. This is one of the worst hit areas. When disaster strikes, NDTV World brings you exclusive on-the-ground reports straight from the heart of the action.
A neighborhood in Los Angeles that has been devastated by fire.
I just received an emergency alert extreme, which has come on my phone.
Stay tuned for NDTV World's in-depth coverage as we bring you the real stories from Los Angeles.
This is the Altadena area, and there are still fires, and there's a lot of smoke in the area. These houses completely gutted.
This is reporting that matters only on NDTV World.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Mahakumbh, the festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
All set for Trump 2.0.
Welcome back after the break. The World Economic Forum President and CEO has predicted India's growth has potential to reach 7 to 8% with the help of reforms. On whether India's target of becoming a developed nation by 2047 is realistic, Mr. Brendis said that India will be a $10 trillion economy soon, and what also works in the interest of India is that the trade is now pivoting more towards digital trade and services. Here is what he told Vishnu Show.
India has a huge presence at the WEF every year, and one of the primary themes, of course, is growth. You would have seen the latest numbers. India just under 7%, but among large nations and growing nations, it is still quite formidable. So how would you look at the India growth story first up?
So India has a great potential, and it is still growing pretty well, maybe 5.5–6% this year. But there is no reason why India cannot pick up again and do 7–8%. Of course, provided that there are reforms when it comes to investments, reforms also in infrastructure, reforms in investing in education and R&D. We do expect that in a few years, India will be 20% of the overall global growth.
Yeah,
that is quite incredible. And what works also for India is the enormous strength in startups. There's more than 120,000 startups in India. I think is more now than 120 unicorns. So that ecosystem, I think, is the basis also for future growth.
India has targeted 2047 to become a developed nation. Do you believe that's realistic? Do you believe it can be achieved?
I think India will be a $10 trillion economy pretty soon. What also works in the interest of India is that trade is now pivoting more towards digital trade and services. That's growing 3 times faster than traditional goods. And these are areas where India is very strong.
You've come out with lots of fantastic reports in the last couple of weeks. You do this every single year ahead of the World Economic Forum annual general meeting. You deal with the future of employment and jobs. What are some of the key challenges or opportunities that you see with greater digitalization of the workforce?
So it's increased productivity, and productivity is like producing more with less resources. And of course, this will challenge some jobs that are back offices today or other jobs. But if that can lead to people moving into areas where you produce higher up in the value chain, you can pay better, you can produce more, and that's prosperity. So for India, there are, of course, huge opportunities when it comes to the new technologies. But short term, it also creates challenges because one has to upskill and reskill people.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Hello and welcome to the best of the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
For 2 decades, NDTV has been a window to the world's greatest thinkers, leaders, Nobel laureates and stars at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
From Bill Gates to Shakira to Randy Zuckerberg to top ministers to what is often the biggest story, India, a global economic powerhouse. Conversations around our greatest challenges from AI to wars to sustainability. Join us, NDTV's Vishnu Shom and me, Neeraj Shah, as we engage with the world's finest. NDTV at Davos from January 20th to January 25th.
All set for Trump 2.0. Countdown to January 20th. Terror shadow, visa wars. All the twists and turns tracking Trump takeover. Every day at 10:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं.
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी.
Mahakumbh, the festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
Kind attention, please. Delhi Election Metro 2025 is arriving on people's platform.
Please mind the gap.
BJP or AAP, who will get to the Delhi Secretariat station?
दरवाजे बाईं तरफ खुलेंगे.
Who will Delhi voters open the victory doors for? And who will be shown the door? Can the BJP throw AAP's victory run off track? Or will it be Kejriwal's ticket to win again? Can Congress take the election metro to revival? We will track it all for you. Delhi's decision destination.
Doors will open on the left.
Stay tuned to NDTV for mega metro poll coverage.
Well, I'm in Altadena. This is one of the worst hit areas. When disaster strikes, NDTV World brings you exclusive on-the-ground reports straight from the heart of the action.
A neighborhood in Los Angeles that has been devastated by fire.
I just received an emergency alert extreme which has come on my phone.
Stay tuned for NDTV World's in-depth coverage as we bring you the real stories from Los Angeles.
This is the Altadena area, and there are still fires and there's a lot of smoke in the area. These houses completely gutted.
This is reporting that matters only on NDTV World.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of maximum city is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Mahakumbh, the festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at
Accused Sanjay Roy sentencing at 2:45 p.m. today in the RG Kaur rape and murder case. CBI has demanded death penalty for the accused. US President-elect Donald Trump has promised he will make heads spin on his first day back in office. Donald Trump is likely to sign about 100 executive orders on day one. An Indian student was shot dead in the US. A 26-year-old student, Teja Ravi, had gone to pursue his master's in Washington in 2022. In the Saif Ali Khan stabbing case, the crime scene is to be recreated. The accused will be taken to the crime scene, that is Saif Ali Khan's home, very soon. And NDTV is at the World Economic Forum. WEF president has told that India will become a $10 trillion economy soon. The extensive coverage and NDTV continues. Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV 24/7. My name is Kitty Behel. We are starting this edition with a top focus that the sentencing of the accused in the RG Kaur Medical College and Hospital, Sanjay Roy, is set for today. The Kolkata court will at 2:45 p.m. pronounce the quantum of punishment for Sanjay Roy. He has been convicted of raping and murdering the trainee doctor at RG Kaur Medical College in August last year. Well, the family of the victim continues to remain, they are claiming that there were more people involved. They've repeatedly also said that this couldn't have been one person's job. Well, the mother of the victim had said that the case was not complete. It will only be completed after the others who were involved in killing her daughter were punished. And we will wait for that day. Till that day, we will not sleep. Also, a lot has been happening in the court. There were arguments made earlier. Also, we have my colleague Saurabh Gupta joining us on the broadcast. He'll get us more details as to what happened in the court today. Saurabh, take us through the details. We do understand the sentencing is expected at 2:45 p.m. But before that as well, arguments had taken place in the court earlier today. What was said and what was the prosecution's argument?
Well, largely what happened today was the arguments over the quantum of sentencing. Now, the provisions and the sections under which Sanjay Roy has been convicted carry the maximum penalty of death penalty, and the minimum is, of course, life imprisonment. So obviously, in this case, the prosecution argued for a death penalty, the maximum penalty, arguing that the case fell into the category of rarest of rare. On the other hand, the defense argued for leniency while, awarding the penalty or the punishment and sentencing, given the fact that, they said they relied on two things. One is, of course, they said, the principle of lingering doubt beyond reasonable doubt even, and they said the evidence quality has to be higher even if there is a conviction when one is awarding the death sentence to someone. So these were largely, the arguments, and on several principles of jurisprudence, these arguments took place on both sides. The family's lawyer, the victim's family's lawyer, also argued for the death penalty, and the court has now heard those arguments, and the arguments have concluded, and the court will pass its order at 2:45. Sanjay Roy was also given an opportunity to speak in court, and he repeated his statement that he made earlier also, that he was wearing a Rudraksh bead, and that would have fallen and broken if he had committed the crime. He said he was being framed. However, the court judge told him that he had been convicted based on the evidence that was presented before the court, and the court only wanted to know his views on sentencing. So at 2:45, the court would have finished, sort of preparing or writing the order, and the order would be passed at 2:45 on what sentence he gets, and the death penalty has been paid for by the prosecution.
All right. So the family of the victim, however, here, Saurabh, what they are saying is that the case is still not complete, and it will only be over for them when the others also, what they say, there were others also who were involved in this heinous crime, because they are not convinced that it was the job of just one man. And we do understand the accused has also been maintaining that he is innocent, he is being framed, and there were other people involved. Is there any option left here, or is this the end of it?
Absolutely. The family has been alleging the involvement of others. They've also alleged a cover-up, and that is something that will have to be investigated. CBI hasn't closed its investigation. It's continuing its investigation on the part of the destruction of evidence. So obviously, this is an ongoing investigation still. One cannot say that the investigation has ended. What the CBI has done is that it has found evidence against one person. It has charge-sheeted that person. And then it has, on the basis of the evidence provided in court, that person has been convicted. Today, that person is being sentenced. However, the evidence that is there in the charge sheet and in the public domain does not seem to suggest the involvement of more than one person. However, it would be premature to say anything on that because that is still an ongoing investigation.
Okay. Also, we've seen there has been a lot of anger in the public. There have been protests going on with people out on the streets demanding justice for the victims since some time now, since months now. And there is a lot of protection also, security also outside the court, we believe. Could you give us details about that? We do believe the court has been fortified so that trouble really happens when the judgment is delivered by the court.
Absolutely. There are 3 layers of barricading outside the court and, even the media has been kept in one enclosure. Lots of police, obviously a lot of police deployed additional security measures are taken when the convict, Sanjay Roy, is brought into court and taken out of court. He, of course, also is brought with heavy police protection and a convoy, so to ensure that nothing untoward takes place during the court hearing or while he is being transported from the court to the jail. Also, like you said, yes, there have been protests outside the court. This is anyways a very crowded place. It's right next to the Sialda station, which is one of the main railway stations, a railway hub in Kolkata. So obviously, there's a lot of traffic, there's a lot of crowd that passes through the area, but massive security arrangements have been put in place. In fact, today the security arrangements are even more than what it was on the day of the verdict. And obviously, that security arrangement will continue till the time Sanjay Roy is in the court premises.
All right. Latest updates that have come in from the court. Remember, the judge also had said that even if it's a rarest of rare case, there should be scope for reformation. The court needs to show why the convict is not worth reformation or rehabilitation. It depends now how the case has been framed, and according to that, of course, the quantum of punishment is going to be announced. Whether the accused will get life sentence, that's the minimum punishment in this case, or death penalty. That's the maximum punishment, of course, that remains to be seen. The sentencing will be done at 2:45 p.m. We'll wait for that. All right, that's the latest that's coming in at the moment. We are shifting our focus to some more news that we're tracking. Donald Trump will return to the White House as the new U.S. president almost 4 years after he had pledged to return to the U.S. Capitol in some form. Remember, this was after the infamous riots of January 2021. The inauguration will take place at 10:30 p.m. Indian local time. Donald Trump's first term had lasted from 2017 to 2021. He had refused to attend the inauguration of Joe Biden, who defeated him in 2020. Also Trump has broken with precedent and invited several foreign leaders to the ceremony. Historically, they have not attended the inauguration because of security concerns and have sent diplomats in their stead. Now, Argentina's president, who's been a strong supporter of Trump's, has said that he will attend. As per reports, also Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has said that she hopes to attend the inauguration. Chinese President Xi Jinping is not attending despite an invitation was sent out to him, but he's going to be sending a senior envoy to America. Trump's advisor Elon Musk, who is the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, also Jeff Bezos, the executive chairman of Amazon, and Mark Zuckerberg are also attending the inauguration. Remember, hours before he will be sworn into office, Donald Trump has promised to sign a host of executive orders on his first day as president. These include those related to immigration, border security, energy, as well as governance. Our NDTV Washington correspondent Kate Fisher gets us more on that.
The weather may be freezing in Washington, but President-elect Trump is fired up. He said that he's preparing more than 100 executive orders for his first day in office in a show of force that will set the tone for the next 4 years. Many are likely to reflect his pledges to bolster immigration enforcement and improve border security. And in major metropolitan areas, immigration raids could begin almost immediately as he follows through on campaign promises to deport undocumented migrants. And those jailed for their part in the January 6th attack on the US Capitol will be awaiting word of potential pardons from the new president. And world leaders will be watching to see if he begins executing his plans for tariffs, land grabs, and ending wars. His inauguration ceremony will begin at 12 p.m. local time, but instead of the traditional ceremony on the steps of the US Capitol, it will take place inside the Capitol building because of these cold temperatures here in Washington. The guests include some of the richest and most powerful people in the world. Every living former president is set to witness Donald Trump's return to power. But some prominent Democrats, including former First Lady Michelle Obama and former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, are opting out. 3 of the world's wealthiest men will be there. Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos are expected to be among the major tech executives there, along with the chief executive of the imperiled social media app TikTok. President-elect Trump invited Chinese President Xi Jinping, but the country's vice president will attend on his behalf. Several world leaders who share Mr. Trump's ideology may also be there, including Argentina's right-wing populist president Javier Milei and Italy's Giorgia Meloni. Representatives from key US allies in the Asia-Pacific region will also be attending, including the foreign ministers of India, Australia and Japan. From punitive trade tariffs to mass deportations and ending wars, Donald Trump has promised a lot for his second term, and in a few hours we'll know just how much of this is set to happen on day one. Kate Fisher, NDTV, Washington.
While Donald Trump's disruptive style has often redefined global diplomacy, whether it is threatening to make Canada the 51st state of the US or proposing tariffs or his America First agenda. For India, the stakes are high. While Prime Minister Modi's personal rapport with Trump has bolstered ties, challenges still persist. With the US being India's largest trading partner, concerns over tariffs, H-1B visa restrictions and undocumented Indians loom large. At the same time, strategic collaboration through the Quad and cutting-edge tech initiatives like semiconductors and AI hold immense potential. Will Trump 2.0 reshape this crucial partnership is the question.
Donald Trump has never shied away from his disruptive approach. His sharp rhetoric and unconventional policies have often kept allies and adversaries guessing. From threatening to make Canada the 51st state of the United States to proposing tariffs on Denmark over Greenland, his tactics are anything but traditional. But what does this mean for India? India, under Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has cultivated a personal rapport with Trump. From Ahmedabad's Namaste Trump extravaganza to New York's Howdy Modi, these high-profile events showcased an unprecedented bonhomie. But is personal rapport enough to cement stronger bilateral ties? Economically, the United States is India's largest trading partner, with bilateral trade reaching $118.2 billion in 2023-24. But Trump's focus on America First could complicate matters. India faces concerns about high tariffs on exports, restrictions on H-1B visas, and the possible deportation of undocumented Indians. Trump's unconventional approach, often seen as a mix of bravado and bargaining, may bring both challenges and opportunities. For India, with deals like the GE-HAL jet engine partnership and agreements under Biden's administration, the groundwork for deeper collaboration is set. Will Trump's push for US companies to manufacture in India further strengthen this bond? Strategically, India remains a key player in countering China's aggressive posture in the Indo-Pacific. Trump 2.0's policies towards China will determine the depth of Indo-US collaboration in platforms like the Quad. Within 24 hours of Donald Trump's second-term inauguration, the US will host Quad foreign ministers, India, Japan, and Australia on the sidelines of the ceremony. This reflects on the Quad's central role in Trump 2.0's foreign policy and its focus on countering China's Indo-Pacific aggression.
Thank you very much. Mr. President, reaction.
Trump's immigration policies remain a double-edged sword. While H-1B visa restrictions may challenge Indian professionals, the influential 4 million-strong Indian-American communities continues to serve as a crucial bridge between the two nations. Technology collaboration is another frontier. Under Trump 2.0, initiatives like the ICAT agreement, focusing on critical and emerging technologies, could redefine India-US tech collaboration. From semiconductors to AI and quantum computing, the potential is immense. As the Trump administration prepares to rewrite the rules of global diplomacy, the India-US partnership stands ready as strategic partners shaping the future. With Rhythm Arcadia, Bureau Report, NDTV World.
External Affairs Minister S. Shankar has said that the inauguration of US President Donald Trump, which he will attend, could have profound consequences for the global order, spelling out some of the challenges and opportunities India could face over the next 4 years. The incoming Trump administration could impact India, particularly when it comes to trade and immigration rules. And what's happening in the crypto world just ahead of Donald Trump's inauguration? Well, it is Donald Trump versus Melania Trump here as well. Sakshi Bajaj explains.
Ahead of Donald Trump's inauguration, it is the war of meme coins between US President-elect Donald Trump and his wife Melania Trump. Donald Trump's meme coin saw a rapid rise before crashing over 50% after the launch of Melania Trump's Melania coin. The crypto world was rocked this weekend as Donald Trump's official meme coin made a grand debut ahead of his inauguration, briefly soaring in value before crashing spectacularly. Now, Melania Trump, the incoming First Lady, introduced her own meme coin, Melania. And of course, this new coin caused a temporary 50% decline in value of her husband's Trump meme coin. Trump's coin skyrocketed upon its debut, reaching a staggering over 15 billion, nearly 15 billion in market value, making it one of the top 20 cryptocurrencies. However, the excitement has been short-lived. Melania's coin debut had an immediate impact on the value of Trump's meme coin. Now, analysts believe meme coins' euphoria, as the euphoria meme coins will be short-lived altogether due to the lack of fundamentals and use cases at the moment.
All right, our extensive coverage continues on Trump's inauguration, and we'll get you more updates. Meanwhile, some more news that we're tracking at the moment. An Indian student from Hyderabad, Teja Ravi, has been shot dead in Washington, D.C. He is reportedly shot dead at a gas station, we're learning. He had gone to the U.S. in 2022 to pursue his master's degree and was actively looking for a job when he was shot dead. Well, that's the latest that we're picking up at the moment. My colleague Uma Sudhir also joins us on the broadcast. She's getting us more details about this case. Uma, what more details have we been able to access?
So 26-year-old Ravi Teja had gone to the US in 2022 to pursue a master's degree, and he was at a gas station in Washington, D.C. when this shooting incident has taken place, in which his life has been lost, and his family, which stays in Hyderabad, Chaitanya Puri, they have been informed, and obviously they are devastated, and the father says this kind of a fate should not befall anyone, because anyone who's going to the US is going with those dreams of a good life in America and the dollar dream is there. And then for something so unfortunate to happen is something that has shocked the neighborhood and the country itself, because huge numbers of students in fact go every year, and it's only in 23-24 that India in fact surpassed every other nation to send the highest number of students to the US. More than 3.31 lakh students go from India to the US. More than any other country, it's the Indians who are in the highest numbers, and the Telugu states as well go in huge numbers. And just in 2024, I must point out that there have been as many as 11 deaths of students in the US, and out of them at least 8, and this is the 9th incident where you are talking about an unnatural death. In some of those cases, it has not been very clearly established what happened, but many of them are also unnatural deaths, and therefore the concern among families here about students going to the US to pursue higher studies and becoming victim of violence there. Back to you.
Right. Thank you so much, Uma, for getting us all those details there. We'll keep an eye on the developments here on this big story that we're tracking. That's an unfortunate bit of news that's coming in from the US. Another incident now that has been reported, this against an Indian student once again. Now, Ravi Teja is the name of the student who's been killed, and well, his family members have been informed. That is the latest we are learning at the moment. Shifting our focus now to some more news coming in from Mumbai. In Bollywood actor Saif Ali Khan's stabbing case, the suspect is expected to be taken to the residence of the actor in Bandra to recreate the crime scene. More details of the crime have emerged. As per sources, the police were able to nab the accused after he had made a UPI payment at a stall in Worli for food and water. Well, his mobile number was traced to Thane by the cops. He had gone to Thane after Worli. Now, do remember, the Mumbai police was granted 5 days of police custody of Mohammad Shariful Islam Shehzad, and the police is still investigating the case. Also, what we are learning is that as per doctors, Saif Ali Khan is not expected to be discharged today. However, his sister had said that he is recovering well.
First, that we're very, very happy that he's recovering well, and we're very thankful, and we feel very blessed and grateful that it wasn't any worse. And thank you for all your wishes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Saif is recovering well. That has been informed by his family members. However, as per doctors, we are learning that he is not going to be discharged today. Earlier, there were speculations that Saif Ali Khan is going to be discharged from the hospital today itself. But what we are learning now is that this could still take more time for Saif Ali Khan to be discharged from the hospital. But on the investigation front, what we are learning is that the Mumbai police is trying to find answers to more questions. They want to know if there was the intent of the attacker was only robbery, or whether there was more to it. So at the moment, the investigation is still underway, and it is also very much expected that the accused will be taken to the crime scene, that is Saif Ali Khan's residence, in order to recreate the crime scene. My colleague Anuj is now joining us on the broadcast. He is at Saif Ali Khan's residence. Anuj, any more updates that have come in as to when the crime scene is likely to be recreated by the cops and when the accused is expected to be taken?
About 40 minutes ago, we saw Kareena Kapoor entered this house from a different gate. This is, of course, the gate from the forward side, which is on the side of the road. But Kareena Kapoor Khan entered from the other side. And this is the first time that she's come to the house, because as she said earlier, after this entire incident took place, she was at her sister, that is Karishma Kapoor's house, who also stays here in Bandra. But as far as the time of the recreation of the particular event is concerned, that hasn't been confirmed yet. Of course, the police have stated that they will be doing it very soon, but they haven't really zeroed down on the time or even the date on when they'll be doing it. Of course, the police custody which was given up until the 24th of January, well, 4 days are remaining now for it, and there are multiple aspects that the police is looking at this particular moment. But one interesting thing that we need to look out for is that this particular crime took place at at night, when between 1:33 a.m. till 2:20 a.m. So there's a high possibility that the police might even want to recreate the scene at that particular point of time, either tonight or tomorrow night. So yeah, that remains to be seen on when exactly is it that the police is trying to recreate the scene to get an a very close or a very good idea about how exactly would the scene have kind of shown up when the accused here made his way through to this particular building. Secondly, the police is also keeping a very close eye on the Bangladeshi input angle that is coming through. We're seeing that it is not just the people with whom this individual stayed in Worli, or the owner of that bike which had left him in DN Nagar and Dhiri, but it is also the contractors, it is the people where he worked, which are being questioned and been interrogated by the police and authorities here in India in Mumbai to understand the full extent of this particular person's history in the last 5 or 6 months while in Mumbai. We know that he's been here since 24 September last year, and he changed a number of jobs since then, right? And there are he's also been told to leave a few jobs, right? Some jobs claim, some job owners, or some place owners claim that he was a very good employee for them, while he has been involved in certain mischievous activities as well, is what has been said about him at certain places. So a lot of these things need to be corroborated with first-hand information by the police. But at the moment, we're all waiting for an update from the police officials on when exactly is this crime recreation, expected to happen, which again, in all likeliness, might as well happen, during the time, during midnight, to get, the perfect idea about the actual incidents that took place on the 16th of January.
All right, let me go across to Abira also, who joins us from outside the Lilavati hospital. Abira, what is the update coming in? We do understand Kareena Kapoor has already returned home. Who all are present with Saif Ali Khan at the moment in the hospital, and we do understand there must have been tight security at the hospital at this point in time also. What is the update about his health also, if you could tell us?
I spoke to the doctor, and the doctor told us that he is doing great, but he will not be discharged today. Sharmila Tagore, Saif Ali Khan's mother, is still inside. As a ritual, she always makes sure she comes in. She's the first to come into the hospital in the morning, and she leaves only by evening, so she's there whole day. Kareena keeps coming in and going out whenever required. We also have seen her sister Sohali Khan and brother-in-law Kunal Kemu, who keeps coming in. Yesterday, the kids Taimur and Jay first time came to meet their father Saif after the incident, but they were there only for 20 minutes. We have seen that there have been security around the family. There was at least 5 bodyguards around Kareena and the kids when they entered and when they left in a different car. So they have tightened the security around them. These are all personal bodyguards that have been hired. They have not been given security by the government. So right now what we see is outside Lilavati. I am outside Lilavati right now. There is police in every gate. There are 2 gates. One is the entry gate and one the exit gate, and there is police in both the gates, as well as their security. The hospital security is there. Every car that goes inside is asked and checked before it goes inside as to why they are here and why they are coming to the hospital. Media is not allowed to cross the gate and come inside. We are all standing outside and waiting for the doctors to give us a report, because the doctor told me that about the discharge, that they are not sure about it yet, but whenever they come to a conclusion that they are ready to discharge him, they will give a formal statement regarding the discharge.
All right, thank you so much, Abira, for getting us all those details there. And Anuj also will come back to you later for more on that. Meanwhile, that's the latest that we're picking up at the moment. We're shifting our focus to news coming in from the national capital now. The BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party are at it again with new posters that the BJP has taken Ghoshna Mantri Jai by Arvind Kejriwal. Well, the Aam Aadmi Party has hit back, asking who is the BJP's groom as far as Delhi is concerned. Well, this is in reference to BJP's chief ministerial phase. That's the latest that we are picking up. Well, the fight between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party escalates ahead of Delhi polls that are due to take place on 5th of February. Well, and the results are going to be out on 8th. Well, before that, this fight is only going to intensify, with the poster war also escalating between the two sides. It's time for a quick break here. More continues on the other side.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Prime Minister Modi has tweeted saying today is a great day for Indian Kho-Kho. Incredibly proud of Indian men's Kho-Kho team for winning the Kho-Kho World Cup title.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
All set for Trump 2.0. Countdown to January 20th. Terror shadow, visa wars. All the twists and turns. Tracking Trump takeover. Every day at 10:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
Hello and welcome to the best of the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
For 2 decades, NDTV has been a window to the world's greatest thinkers, leaders, Nobel laureates and stars at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
From Bill Gates to Shakira to Randy Zuckerberg to top ministers to what is often the biggest story, India, a global economic powerhouse. Conversations around our greatest challenges, from AI to wars to sustainability. Join us, NDTV's Vishnu Shom and me, Neeraj Shah, as we engage with the world's finest. NDTV at Davos from January 20th to January 25th.
All set for Trump 2.0. Countdown to January 20th. Terror shadow, visa wars. All the twists and turns. Tracking Trump takeover. Every day at 10:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं.
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी.
Mahakumbh, a festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred conference.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Welcome back after the break. The sentencing of Sanjay Roy, the convict in the RG Kar Medical Hospital rape and murder case, is expected in some time. A Kolkata court will at 2:45 p.m. pronounce the quantum of punishment for Sanjay Roy. He is a civic volunteer who's been convicted of raping and murdering the trainee doctor at RG Kar Medical College in August last year. While the family of the victim has continued to claim that there were more people involved, they have repeatedly said this, that it couldn't have been one person's job. The mother of the woman doctor had said that the case is not complete. It will only be completed after the others who were involved in killing our doctor are punished. We will wait for that day. Till that day, we will not be able to sleep. Well, the judgment is being pronounced nearly 2 months after the in-camera trial had started in November last year. My colleague Tanushka joins us on the broadcast here. She's getting us more details about the case. The sentencing is expected in some time. 2:45 p.m. is when we are expecting the sentencing to take place. Who all are present in the court at the moment? Are the victims' parents also there?
Right, Kitty. So the court will resume with its, quantum of punishment and the final verdict on the RG Kar rape and murder case at 2:45 p.m. And what we have understood from the hearings up until now, the proceedings, is that the court has said that, the judge has said that it has been proven that Sanjay Roy has also been convicted and has been proven guilty, that he is the one who raped and killed the victim. And at this point, we're looking, the charges under which Roy has been convicted entail a minimum sentence of life imprisonment, while the maximum can also be a capital punishment, which is the death penalty. And this is the main, focus of the arguments that took place in court today with respect to, because death penalty is in the rarest of rare cases, and the nature of the case is being observed at this point, is being examined at this point. The court is saying that the evidence that they have been produced with, they will form a decision on that basis only, whereas the convict Sanjay Roy was also given a chance to speak his mind on his views on the punishment, and he said that he's being falsely implicated and he's being framed, something that is also being echoed by the parents of the deceased, who are also saying that they believe that more people are involved in this. Both the mother and the father of the deceased say that they have faith in the judiciary, and whatever decision will be taken by the court of law, they will, be accepted. However, they also mention that they believe that there are more people behind this, and until and unless those people are also brought to the light, they will not give up on their protest for the loss of their life of their daughter.
Yes, that is what the family has been saying, that the evidence was destroyed even before the case was handed over to the CBI. The case was earlier with the Kolkata police, and so it took some time, a few days, for the CBI to take over the case, and they believe that there was crucial evidence that would have been important, in the case, and what they've said that this couldn't be one person's job. The mother of the victim has been repeatedly saying this, that she believes it's not one person's job. There could have been other people involved. Well, the accused also, remember, in the court has been saying that he's been framed, and it's not his doing. There were other people who were involved here in the rape and murder of the trainee doctor. Is it possible? Well, this is the Sessions Court. We do understand the Selda Court where the quantum of punishment is to be announced. The court is expected to announce that in just a few minutes from now. That is what we are learning, Tanushka. But this is not an end to the investigation. The family could demand, as per what they are saying, the statements that we are going through of the father and the mother, they could demand a revisit to the investigation. Tanushka, is there a possibility of that?
Right, that seems, pretty unlikely at this point, because while the parents are maintaining that they do feel there may be other people involved and they have their own set of allegations with respect to the evidences as well. The CBI did take over the case 15 days after, and they were handed over the case 15 days after the incident. So the CBI also had mentioned right in their preliminary reports that the crime scene was definitely not the same anymore. However, the possibility of them reaching out again with respect to the case is unclear at this point, as they've also said that whatever decision will be taken by the courts, they will be, happy by that. And in the arguments that took place in the court, the prosecution has said that there, a category of cases where death penalty can be given, and it is the rarest of rare category, and they believe that this case deserves to fall under the rarest of rare category, as the doctor was there at the government hospital, which is where this happened with her. So, and also that Sanjay Roy has already been found guilty, even though he pleads not guilty, which is where the defense says that a death sentence is given when all doors are closed. There has to be evidence on record on zero scope of reformation. So there were also arguments on the scope of reformation with respect to Sanjay Roy, whether or not there is a possibility that, he can be sent to reform or rehabilitation instead of being sentenced to death or a life imprisonment. So we are yet to, of course, understand what sort of a verdict does the Sessions Court take in this case, which, remember, happened in August last year.
Absolutely. Well, this is the Sessions Court, but there is, of course, always an option with the accused also, and we do understand the victims' parents also have been saying so far that they are not really convinced with the investigation that took place because the evidence was somehow destroyed before the CBI could take over. But yes, the latest statements that have come in from the family members, as per that, they do believe to be saying that they are going to accept whatever the court's verdict is. But there is always an option with the accused also to appeal with the higher courts, but whether that happens or not, that remains to be seen. But the Kolkata court here, the Sessions Court, is going to be delivering the quantum of punishment at 2:45 p.m. That is just a few minutes from now. The accused Sanjay Roy has pleaded innocence. He's been saying that he's been framed, but what option does he have now? At the moment, it doesn't look like he has much of an option, because the quantum of punishment is going to be announced. There is a possibility that the court could give him minimum punishment, that is life imprisonment, or the maximum is the death penalty. All right, we have more news that we are tracking at this point in time. We're shifting our focus. This is coming in from Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand is set to implement the UCC. Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami had announced the implementation of UCC starting January 2025. The state has completed preparations, including a dedicated portal and mobile application for online services. Dhami said the state has done its homework for the implementation of the UCC, and with that, Uttarakhand is set to become the country's first state to implement the UCC after independence. He has instructed the officials to ensure proper training of the personnel, besides arranging all kinds of basic facilities to implement the provisions of the code.
हमने ये वायदा किया था कि हम सबसे पहले सरकार बनने के बाद पहला काम करेंगे, यूसीसी का विधेयक लाएंगे। हम यूसीसी का विधेयक लेकर आए और उस पर सभी ड्राफ्ट कमेटी ने ड्राफ्ट बनाया, विधेयक पास हुआ, राष्ट्रपति महोदय की मंजूरी मिल गई, एक्ट बन गया। एक्ट बनने के बाद प्रशिक्षण की जो प्रक्रिया है वह भी हमारी लगभग पूरी हो गई है और आज माननीय मंत्रिमंडल में इस बात पर हमने चर्चा करी है कि जल्दी से जल्दी हम उसका डेटों का चूँकि सारी तैयारी होने के बाद, चूँकि भारतवर्ष में सबसे पहले यूसीसी लागू करने वाला राज्य देवभूमि उत्तराखंड बनने जा रहा है, तो सभी चीज़ों की समीक्षा करने के बाद हम जल्दी ही डेटों का ऐलान करेंगे।
All right, news from Kerala now. As many as 58 people, including 6 minors, have been arrested in Kerala's Pathanamthitta in a shocking case of sexual abuse of a minor girl who happens to be an athlete. This went on for about 5 years. Well, the information has been given to NDTV by the Pathanamthitta SP. Well, my colleague Uma Sudhir also gets us more on that.
I spoke to the Pathanamthitta SP, Mr. Vinod, and he has said that 60 people have been identified as accused in Pathanamthitta. About 30 cases have been registered, which means 30 FIRs have been registered. And out of the 60 people, in a matter of few days, 58 people have been arrested. This would include about 6 minors who have also been taken into custody. Of course, technically that is not an arrest, but they have also indulged in the sexual assault of this girl. There is also another case that has in fact happened in Thiruvananthapuram involving the same girl. This girl had gone for an event to Thiruvananthapuram. As we mentioned, she has been an athlete and she had gone for an event to Thiruvananthapuram where we are told that again 2 people had assaulted her, sexually abused her, and therefore those 2 people have also been arrested. As you mentioned, this entire episode, horror rather, has happened between 2014 to 2019 and what we understand, from the age of 14 years to about the age of 18 years. Now she's 18 years in a few months is what the SP told me, and from 2019 onwards is when this has happened. And the last case that happened was in November of 2024. That is the last recorded case that the police has in its records now, based on the statements that were given by this girl. Of course, her parents are both are daily wage laborers, and they seem to have been quite oblivious to what happened. The police has found corroborative evidence in the form of the cellular digital evidence in the mobile phone that the girl was using, through which she was in fact solicited or coerced or made to indulge in these kind of activities. It of course began with a neighbor who was some kind of a mentor, sports mentor for her, who had lured her into sexual activity when she was about 14 years of age, and subsequently we are being told that he had used the video and photographs of that time to blackmail her, and the net just grew. And shockingly, it's not just the sports trainers, people in the neighborhood, as well as fellow athletes who had exploited this girl, and also her own classmates. It was after a teacher had alerted about the entire happenings that the Child Welfare Committee came into play, and that is when this entire horrific saga was revealed and came to be known to the police and authorities. Back to you.
All right, more news that we're tracking now. Israel has released 90 Palestinian prisoners hours after Hamas handed over 3 Israeli hostages, completing the first successful exchange under a ceasefire aimed at ending more than 15 months of war in Gaza that has killed over 47,000 people. Hamas released 3 hostages who were all women and were held in Gaza since the Palestinian group's attack on Israeli towns on October 7, 2023. Israel has, as per the deal, released Palestinian prisoners from its jails. A total of 33 hostages taken by Hamas during its deadly attack on Israel will be returned from Gaza during an initial 42-day truce. Negotiations over the second phase of the agreement will begin by the 16th day of phase 1 and are likely to include the release of all remaining hostages.
This is one of the toughest negotiations I've been part of. Many of you who follow these negotiations will attest that the road to this deal has been not easy at all, a long road. But we've reached this point today because of the pressure Israel built on Hamas, backed by the United States. But I concluded abandoning the course I was on would not have led us to the ceasefire we're seeing today. But instead, it would have risked a wider war in the region that so many feared. Now the region has been fundamentally transformed. Hamas's longtime leader, Sinwar, is dead. Hamas sponsors in the Middle East have been badly weakened by Israel. backed by the United States. Hezbollah, one of Hamas's biggest backers, was significantly weakened on the battlefield, and its leadership was destroyed.
Breaking news now. Any moment now, we are expecting the quantum of sentence to be pronounced by the court. Well, the accused Sanjay Roy is the convict in the RG Kaur Medical College and Hospital rape and murder case. The Kolkata court is expected to pronounce the quantum of punishment for Sanjay Roy. Remember, he was a civic volunteer and was convicted of raping and murdering the trainee doctor at RG Kaur Hospital in August last year. Well, the CBI had charged Sanjay Roy with sections of rape, punishment for causing death and also murder. As per these charges, the minimum punishment includes rigorous imprisonment for not less than 10 years, and the maximum punishment is the death penalty. Remember, the CBI has asked for death penalty to be awarded to the accused. They've said that it's the rarest of the rare case, and the victim was a meritorious student and an asset to the society. Well, the CBI has also said this incident had shaken the entire community. All right, big update now coming in. We're learning now he's been given life imprisonment as per details coming in. My colleague Tanushka joins us on the broadcast here. Tanushka, take us through the details here.
Right, so we just have it, from the court. The verdict has come out in the RG Kaur rape and murder case. Sanjay Roy has been sentenced to life imprisonment and charged a fine of 50,000 rupees on the charges, on the first and second charge in the case. And what we are understanding is that the court has said that this is not the rarest of rare category case. Remember, there were deliberations and arguments in the court with respect to the nature of the case being a rarest of rare category, which is only when a death penalty, a death capital punishment is sentenced to any convict in this nature of a crime. So the minimum punishment is that of life imprisonment and the maximum that of being capital punishment. And Sanjay Roy has now been sentenced to life imprisonment by the Sessions Court in Kolkata, and he is also been fined with 50,000 rupees, as penalty at this point. So this is definitely a final case closing verdict on the RG Kaur rape and murder case. Remember, on August 9th, 31-year-old trainee doctor was brutally raped and murdered within the hospital premises in Kolkata.
Absolutely. Well, this is a big judgment now coming in. In this case, the quantum of punishment now has been awarded to the convict in the case. Life imprisonment has been given to Sanjay Roy. Any option that is left with the accused here? Could he go to the higher courts?
Well, he could definitely. However, in this case, it does seem like the final verdict lies with the Sessions Court here because the case happened in Kolkata as well. So it falls under the domain of the Kolkata Sessions Court only, the Sialda court that we're talking about, wherein the judge has given this verdict at this point. It, of course, remains to be seen whether or not the defense, which is Sanjay Roy and his lawyers, his counsel, plan on challenging this verdict or not. But as of now, what remains final in this is that he's been sent to life imprisonment in the case. Remember, there were also arguments going on in the court about possibility of reformation with respect to Sanjay Roy. So death penalty is given only when there is zero scope for reformation. And in this case, since there is life imprisonment that has been, the quantum of punishment in the case, we can possibly assume from that there may be some sort of reform that may come around on the minds with respect to Sanjay Roy.
Who all have been present inside the court when the judgment was delivered. We do believe Sanjay Roy's family has not been coming to meet him. They've disowned him and they were actually quite upset by the turn of events that had taken place in the case. Who all have been present?
Well, definitely the parents of the deceased, both the mother and father, have been present at the court, and they have also been speaking to the media, and they've said that they have their own beliefs, of course, that and they claim that they believe that, Sanjay Roy is not the only conspirator in this case. They believe that more people were involved, and they also believe that CBI investigation should have brought out the other people perpetrators who were involved. However, the court, of course, relies on evidence, and the evidence in the investigation by the CBI points towards Sanjay Roy, which is on the basis of which the judge has come to the verdict of life imprisonment for him. Both the parents of the deceased have spoken and said that they, at the end of the day, will accept the decision taken by the court of law, and that they believe in the judicial system of the country.
Well, the accused has been saying he's been pleading innocence and has been saying that he was framed, he was not given a chance to speak. But we do believe the judge, before awarding the punishment to the accused, had given a chance for him to speak. The judge also had said that I had given you almost an entire day to present your view, but on the basis of the evidence and the facts that have been presented in front of me, I find you guilty. And now the quantum of punishment, of course, has been announced. What really happened in the court today? Take us through the details. What really transpired there?
So the proceedings in the court, as you also mentioned, Kitty, went exactly like that. The judge gave the opportunity to Sanjay Roy also to present his views on the punishment herein, as is, due process. And the parents of the deceased also said that outside of court, he did mention that he's being falsely implicated and that he is being framed here. He's not the accused person in this case. However, within court, he has not really said anything. He was produced in the witness box as well, and he just said that he's being framed. So earlier outside the court, he did mention about an IPS official, but no mention of such a person came up in court again. And what remains at this point, final verdict, is that he's being given life imprisonment.
All right. The convict Sanjay Roy is expected to be brought out of the court any time now. We'll keep an eye on the developments taking place on this big story that we're tracking. Thank you so much, Tanushka, for getting us all those details there. We'll come back to you later for more on that. Meanwhile, that's the big breaking news that's coming in at the moment. CBI had asked for death sentence to be awarded to the accused in the case, but the court has said that this is not the rarest of rare case and has awarded life imprisonment to the convict. It's time for a quick break here. More news and updates continue on the other side.
Kind attention, please. Delhi Election Metro 2025 is arriving on People's Platform. Please mind the gap. BJP or AAP, who will get to the Delhi Secretariat station?
दरवाजे बाईं तरफ खुलेंगे.
Who will Delhi voters open the victory doors for? And who will be shown the door? Can the BJP throw AAP's victory run off track? Or will it be Kejriwal's ticket to win again? Can Congress take the election metro to revival? We will track it all for you. Delhi's decision destination.
Doors will open on the left.
Stay tuned to NDTV for mega metro poll coverage.
Well, I'm in Altadena. This is one of the worst hit areas.
When disaster strikes, NDTV World brings you exclusive on-the-ground reports straight from the heart of the action.
A neighborhood in Los Angeles that has been devastated by fire.
I just received an emergency alert extreme, which has come on my phone.
Stay tuned for NDTV World's in-depth coverage as we bring you the real stories from Los Angeles.
This is the Altadena area, and there are still fires, and there's a lot of smoke in the area. These houses completely gutted.
This is reporting that matters only on NDTV World.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
The verdict is out in the Arjikar rape and murder case. Sanjay Roy has been given life imprisonment. Kolkata High Court, Kolkata Sessions Court says not rarest of rare cases. CBI and family demanded death sentence for Sanjay Roy. Donald Trump has promised he will make heads spin. On his first day back in office, Trump likely to sign 100 executive orders. He vows to impose harsh immigration limits. A 26-year-old student is shot dead in US. He is killed in Washington, D.C. The crime scene of the place where Saif Ali Khan was attacked will be recreated. Accused to be taken to the crime scene. So far as Saif is concerned, he will not get discharged today. However, the doctors say that he is recovering. Indian pacer Mohammad Shami is back after an injury break. He is bowling at full tilt ahead of the T20 series versus England that starts on Wednesday. And here's a big breaking story of the hour. Sanjay Roy, who has been convicted of raping and murdering a junior doctor at the Arjikar Medical College and Hospital in Kolkata, has been sentenced to life imprisonment by Sealdah Court. In fact, the court noted that it was not the rarest of the rare cases. Sanjay Roy, a former civic volunteer with the Kolkata police, was in court when the sentence was announced. The victim's family and CBI had asked for death sentence to the alleged rapist and murderer. However, now the court has given him a life sentence, life in prison, and a fine of 50,000 rupees, calling it not a rarest of rare case. I'm joined by my colleague Saurabh Gupta for more on this. Saurabh, I believe the parents of the victim will not be happy with this, with the verdict coming out. Neither will CBI be. Are you hearing that this is going to be further appealed to a higher court?
Well, it's a natural progression of the legal process that it will go to the High Court, and the parents are likely to push for the death penalty in the High Court. And the court, of course, the Supreme Court trial court here, felt that the case was not in the rarest of rare category. That is something that the judge said very clearly in the courtroom before announcing the sentence. And the sentence is, of course, there are several charges, so he's got life imprisonment on all three charges, along with fines, 50,000 rupee fines, and then, of course, if he can't pay the fine, then that sentence also goes up, which means that he will spend a lifetime in jail till his death. But this is not the death penalty that, there was a lot of demand from, not just from the legal sort of teams in the case of the prosecution and from the victim's family, but also from society at large, including the Chief Minister of West Bengal, including political parties, all have demanded, the death penalty. However, for the death penalty to be awarded in law, there are very strict provisions. Now, many believe that it fell into the rarest of rare category because of the heinous, brutal and horrific nature of the crime. But also there were legal voices which said that this is a case that largely rested on circumstantial evidence. Apart from the forensic, the electronic, the CCTV, all of that, and So, considering the evidence before the court, and the judge made it clear that I have to consider the evidence, and based on the evidence only before me. This was, he said earlier in the day. So obviously when the sentencing arguments were taking place, but the quantum of
बांग्ला में हम बोल रहे हैं आपके सबके लिए ज्यादा से ज्यादा ओके বাংলা আমি আপনাদেরকে জানাচ্ছি এই মুহূর্তে অ্যাডিশনাল ডিস্ট্রিক্ট এবং সেশন জাজ শিয়ালদা 1 নম্বর কোর্ট তিনি আরজি কর কাণ্ডের মূল অভিযুক্ত সঞ্জয় রায়ের ব্যাপারে তার সাজার মেয়াদ ঘোষণা করেছে গত 18 জানুয়ারি 2025 সঞ্জয় রায়কে সেখানে দোষী সাব্যস্ত করেছিল বিএনএস অ্যাক্টের 64, 66 এবং 103 এর এক ধারায় তিনটে দোষ সেকশনে আজকের যে সাজার মেয়াদ ঘোষণা করেছেন এই মুহূর্তে সাজার মেয়াদ বিএনএস এর 64 ধারায় অর্থাৎ রেপ ধর্ষণের জন্য তাকে যাবজ্জীবন কারাবাস এবং ফাইন একই সঙ্গে 66 ধারায় যে ধর্ষণ এবং ধর্ষণের সময় তাকে যে আঘাত যাতে মৃত্যু হতে পারে সেই কারণে বিএনএস এর 66 ধারায় আমৃত্যু কারাবাস এবং 103 এর এক ধারায় অর্থাৎ খুন বা মার্ডারের জন্য তাকে যাবজ্জীবন কারাবাস এবং ফাইন করা হয়েছে একইভাবে স্টেটকে নির্দেশ দিয়েছে ভিকটিমের পরিবারকে 10 লক্ষ এবং 7 লক্ষ মোট 17 লক্ষ টাকা ভিকটিমের পরিবারকে ক্ষতিপূরণ দেওয়ার জন্য हम हिंदी में बोल रहे हैं जो आपका एडिशनल डिस्ट्रिक्ट और सेशन जज शियालदा 1 नंबर कोर्ट आज आरजीकर कांडों का जो अभियुक्त संजय राय उनको जो सजा का म्याद सुनाया वो सजा का म्याद दिया बीएनएस का जो 64 है 64 में जो रेप के बारे में उनका जो जाबज्जीवन अर्थात जाबज्जीवन उनका सजा दिया उसके साथ फाइन किया 66 जो है रेप एवं उसी टाइम में जो टॉर्चर के बारे में उनका डेथ हुआ इसलिए उनका अमृत्यु जब तक जिंदा रहेगा तब तक उनको जेल में रहने होगा एक ही साथ उनको फाइन भी किया और 103 का एक जो बीएनएस एक्ट है वो उसके बारे में जो मर्डर है उसके बारे में उसके लिए उनका जाबज्जीवन कारावास का सजा सुनाया एक ही साथ में फाइन भी किया एक ही साथ में स्टेट को गवर्नमेंट को डायरेक्शन दिया लॉर्डेड एडिशनल डिस्ट्रिक्ट सेशन जज 1 नंबर शियालदा कोर्ट जो 10 लाख 10 लाख एंड 7 लाख टोटल 17 लाख उनका फैमिली को देने होगा एज पर क्षतिपूरण विक्टिम फैमिली को लिए कैपिटल पनिशमेंट हम लोग मांगा था सीबीआई का तरफ से और फैमिली का तरफ से फिर भी कोर्ट जो बोला ये रियरेस्ट मैटर नहीं है इसलिए हम फांसी का सजा नहीं सुना रहे हम उनके अमृत्यु कारावास 66 के बारे में और 64 एंड 103(1) के बीएनएस एक्ट के बारे में उनका जाबज्जीवन कारावास का उनका घोषणा दिया कोर्ट एडवोकेट अनीशुर रहमान हम एडवोकेट है इधर का हम एडवोकेट अनीशुर रहमान है
Well, at this point, I'm joined by Dr. Ranjana Kumari, a woman activist and chairperson of Women Power Connect. I am also joined by Sanjay Sahai, former IPS officer. Let me go over to Ranjana. Ranjana, you know, your first reaction to Sanjay Roy, the alleged murderer and rapist of the medical student, has been given life imprisonment.
I think we welcome the punishment, but two things. One, of course, we welcome that this was really done in a very, very quick process. We didn't have to wait for years to get this judgment. And this is something we really appreciate local court for they have done this. But you know, CBI has failed to prove that this was rarest of the rare. Wherever and her body was brutalized, she was killed, she was murdered, raped and murdered. So this is certainly comes under the category of rarest of rare. But, you know, this is the failure of the investigation agency, which could not really present the investigation report in a manner in which court should have been convinced of the seriousness of this whole crime. However, the swift punishment and a punishment for whole life in jail is something that we really appreciate, that whatever they could prove, at least quickly they have punished. But second thing also, I want the local bureaucracy and also the police to ensure that this man never comes out of jail, because you know what happens after a few years, it will be out of mind for everyone, and he may get bail for for whatever reason that he can present to, and then there is risk of such people coming out and committing crime. We have seen it has happened in the past. So I only hope that it will be ensured that he doesn't come out of jail for any till last day of his life.
Let me also go over to Mr. Sanjay Sahai, a former IPS officer. Mr. Sahai, do you agree that CBI has not been able to build a case to call it a rarest or rare occurrence?
I think the CBI tried its level best to make it as the rarest of rare cases and plugging all the loopholes on account of the scientific investigation and the reports thereof, and going through a large number of evidences and circumstantial evidence also. Might be in the first few days, some of the evidence was lost out. We are not very sure about it. And the second and the most important thing, that however best the evidence is produced in the court, it depends on the judgment of the judge who is there, how he evaluates the evidence which is provided to him. To best of my understanding, to the concerned presiding officer, the judge, so it was not sufficient enough to be called rarest of rare cases. There is a subjectivity which certainly lies with the judge, and that subjectivity is used. We are very happy about the fact that it has happened in a predictable manner, and there's life imprisonment which has been awarded to him. So beyond that, it will be very difficult to comment on the judgment part of it, on the capital punishment.
Part of the investigation, there is a severe laches which we pointed out in our argument, and today is the result of such a investigation, whereby we always prayed for the highest level of punishment, but the learned court has given the life sentence of the accused person, and we have pointed out the latches of the investigation that created a confusion in the mind of the learned court. That is the reflection of the judgment. Later,
of confusion, this judgment has come.
Later the judgment will come, the copy of judgment, and the elaborate part of it will explain as soon as we get the copy. Thank you.
The parents has denied the compensation, but the court has stated it that the compensation is not such a compensation that the court is giving. It is the liability of the state. It is the liability of the state which was supposed to give. The parents are partially happy, and the main point is that the parents wanted to convey before this learned court through us that yes, there are discrepancies in this investigating procedure. So we have pointed that out, and the state has been reflected in the judgment. That is what. অবশ্যই অ্যাপিলের প্রভিশন খোলা আছে, এবং the court has specifically stated that liability of state is to give protection to the daughter when she was on duty. So এই কারণে এই যে কম্পেনসেশনটা দেওয়া হয়েছে, সেই কম্পেনসেশনের পার্টটা is for this.
Well, the lawyer is also saying that the judgment is open to appeal. Let me go over to Dr. Aparna Mohanta, who is a general physician. She has been protesting against this gruesome crime. Your first reaction, Dr. Mohanta?
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me on the show. Today the verdict is out, but very sadly, justice is still lagging far, far behind. There's no rejoice and cheer today in the verdict. The compensation of 17 lakh, which the government of West Bengal is liable to pay, does not account for the gruesome murder that had been committed while the girl, the postgraduate trainee, was on duty. Having said that, I would make it brief. The world is watching as much as we, the common man, is watching too, the pillars of democracy. Let them rise up to the common man's aspirations. We are very tired and weary of all the rhetorics, the political, the social, the media, the judicial, all the rhetorics. We want the justice to be delivered in tandem with the verdict and not in bits and pieces. today is no rejoice and cheer for us.
Dr. Mohanta, you have been very close to what was happening on ground. One of the things that Sanjay Roy, the accused, has constantly said that he is not the only one involved in this, and he constantly kept repeating that he hasn't committed the crime, but there are other people who are involved in it. Being so close to the action, do you also think that there are other people who have got off because of lack of evidence that CBI has failed to build?
Yeah, of course. I'm such a small person in the cog in the wheel. The entire nation believes. Anybody with a little bit of intelligence cannot put their hand on their heart and say, no, this was just Sanjay Roy who happened to be the criminal of the entire proceedings. Never. I don't believe. And being a very, law-abiding citizen, I cannot question because I have been trained right from my school. My parents, my system, everybody has conditioned me not to question the system. But then we can't only do and die, right? Neither the child deserves to do and die. Let the judiciary rise up. Let it deliver justice and verdict in tandem. Let us all rejoice then. Let it be like that. Yeah. I can't add on more apart from that.
Mrs. Sahai, would you like to react to what Dr. Aparna is saying?
What Dr. Aparna is saying holds good in a variety of ways. What is important is the total degradation of administration and power taken, and how that facilitated into this crime happening. It is a matter of conjecture for us, but it should not remain a matter of conjecture for investigation. And even on that fateful night, mostly this person was drunk. He joined as a police volunteer. What is the background investigation which has been done? And the nature of administration provided by the medical superintendent, which is all known and it is out there in the public domain. The 5 persons' DNA, which was there on the victim, plus 68 people who have been there in the video footages, I think certainly little more needs to be done so as to prove it to the world that this is, there has to be finality in it. There is nobody denying the fact that whatever has happened so far and the way CBI got into the scene and made a case of it and has successfully handled it for the main accused of the case in a very short period of time and got life imprisonment, if not capital punishment. That is certainly very, very praiseworthy, and it goes to the credit of the CBI. But not denying what they have given in this particular case. Certainly, there are some loose ends. These loose ends we have been talking about from day one of the case. I have been appearing on large number of TV panels in those days for nearly 2 months. And the way state government actually appeared on the scene, and I think their demeanor was also not to the mark of a government which controls the police and which takes the responsibility of investigation. To best of my understanding, and certainly all of us are conditioned not to differ with whatever government says, what the judiciary says, and what the top investigating agency in the country says. But there is also, I think, some amount of background understanding and a narrative by which we are forced to question quite a few things, given the present nature of things, the way they are happening. Right. So I think it would be a very pleasant situation if the Supreme Court of India gives a chance for a High Court monitored investigation with regards to all other allegations. We can call it allegations as of now. All other allegations leveled by the parents, and more so the mother of the victim. I think certainly, the end of the day, why an investigation happens, why a trial happens, it is the closure. Why do we do final rights of people? We do it because there is a closure to life. So the criminal case, it needs a closure. It's not that it is the logical, legal culmination of something. It is logical, legal culmination of an crime which has happened by which the whole society has been perturbed. So that has to be laid to rest. If that is not laid to rest, it does not make any sense whatsoever. So that is broadly, that is my thought, and I've got into a variety of this, from the technical, legal, governance, scientific investigation, literally any and every point of view.
Mr. Sahai, hold your thought. We are going to come back to you. At this moment, let me go over to my colleague Saurabh Gupta, who joins us from outside the Sessions Court in Sealdah. Saurabh, tell us about the sentiments that you're picking up on ground. There was widespread anger. Kolkata rose against such a gruesome crime. Would people on the street be satisfied? I'm not talking about happy. Be satisfied with this verdict today?
Yeah, absolutely not. You know, there was a sentiment that this was a case that deserved the death penalty, at least amongst the general public. We're not getting into the legal formalities and the legal arguments of it. The legal arguments have been made within the courtroom, and the court has decided based on the legal arguments. And the court was very clear in its reasoning as to why it felt this was not in the rarest of rare categories. Those are reasonings that would be perhaps even more clearer once the certified copy of the judgment is out later in the evening. However, we see protests just on the other side from where I am that are taking place, and this will further perhaps generate more protests, given the fact that many believe that this was a case that fell into the rarest of rare category and that was deserving of the death penalty. However, like I said, that is a general sentiment. Legal process and legal arguments are very different. They take place in, ideally in a situation where, it is only the evidence that comes before the court that is considered. And you cannot, of course, expect, judges to be swayed by public opinion. Judges will decide based on the evidence before them. That is exactly what the judge said this afternoon while hearing the arguments on the quantum of sentencing. And therefore, the judge, once he came out at 2:45 to deliver the sentence, he said that this is a case which, in my opinion, does not fall in the rarest of rare category. And I must also add, on the part of the defense lawyers also during the quantum of sentencing argument quoted some very important Supreme Court judgments, quoted some very important precedents in law that would obviously be, towards life imprisonment and not the death penalty. And those arguments also were important. In fact, if I can just try and read out some of those arguments, which perhaps also would have gone in favor of the accused in terms of the life imprisonment. And those arguments are very clear. And those arguments were in the sense of multiple points. One is, of course, whether the doors of reformation have been completely closed or not before someone can be removed completely forever from society. And that is by the death penalty. Because the death penalty is something that is given when a court believes that there is no case of reformation here. And of course, the prosecution said that this was, a rarest of rare category, the brutality of the crime, the fact that the young lady postgraduate trainee was, at a government hospital providing service to the poorest of the poor. And this is when it happened. But the defense said that there has to be evidence as to why reformation is not possible when you award death penalty. The court said, Supreme Court says when you're praying for death penalty, you have to provide the evidence of reformation is not possible. Death sentence is to be given when all doors are closed. There has to be evidence on record on zero scope of reformation. There is the doctrine of residual doubt. This is a legal doctrine that often is made, and a legal doctrine that's used in arguments when there is a quantum of sentencing. And the quality of evidence has to be higher for the death penalty, even if it is enough for conviction. And also if there is lingering uncertainty beyond reasonable doubt and absolute certainty, then death penalty is often commuted. And there is a NLU Delhi report on this, which was also quoted by, the defense lawyers. This is a report that this is the first of its kind. It is by the National Law University in Delhi. And then, of course, the defense ended its argument saying, therefore, the court may consider alternate punishment apart from the death penalty. These arguments seem to have stuck in court. These arguments seem to have had an impression on the court while arriving at its decision to award the life sentence. Also, when we were speaking to lawyers in the past, one of the things that they kept saying was that eyewitnesses in terms of, someone seeing the accused commit a crime. It was electronic evidence, it was forensic evidence, it was evidence that was gathered at the spot. But many believe that perhaps even if it secures a conviction, it's not enough to secure a death penalty, given that doctrine of residual, what I was saying, as the defense lawyers argued, that there was the doctrine of residual doubt. So obviously, these are legal arguments that have been made in court, and these legal arguments seem to have stuck outside the court. There are legal processes inside the court. There is a public opinion outside the court. When it comes to the public opinion and the general public sentiment outside the court, it is very clear that everyone believed this was a fit case for death penalty and not life imprisonment, as the court has decided. But again, the court has to work on the basis of evidence. That is something the court made it very clear. It will act only and only on the basis of evidence presented before the court. And no matter what the public sentiment is, the court seems to have gone by the evidence before it and decided on life imprisonment, along with fines.
Right. I'll also have to ask you about that one, information, I would say, that the accused has been constantly saying that he had not done the crime and there are many other people involved. He also mentioned that an IPS officer knows everything and he's not being allowed to talk much. What are we really picking up on those, on those accounts? Are they all fictional, or there is some weightage to what he is saying in the court?
Well, let's first tackle the question that you had opportunities in court to argue his case. The accused the court has heard him for 3 hours on one day. That's something the court made it clear. The court has given him ample and every opportunity to make his point in court. And that is something the court has considered while arriving at the verdict and also during the quantum of sentencing. So no accused will ever say, I am guilty, I did it. Accused will always try and evade responsibility for any crime committed by the accused. But in this case, what many also argued was that that perhaps it's important because also even more important because the victim's family seems to be also going by that argument that there could be involvement of others, that there are allegations of a cover-up. However, at this point, again, we must remember that the CBI is the investigating agency. The Kolkata police initially invested the case, and the CBI presented all the evidence, and the evidence was not weak. The evidence was pretty strong in the court. And based on that, the accused has been tried, he has been held guilty by the court, and then he has been sentenced. So obviously, if the evidence was all wrong, then the accused wouldn't have been, convicted. So the evidence is there. However, what is missing, or what the parents say is missing, or what several political parties have alleged, is that there could be involvement of others, but the evidence on public domain after months of investigation do not seem to suggest that. That does not mean that there could be no evidence. It is still an ongoing investigation when it comes to the charge of destruction of evidence. The CBI has made it very clear. So it's an ongoing investigation in certain areas. The evidence that has been presented in court is against Sanjay Roy, whom the police and the CBI maintain in the charge sheet that he is the one who committed the crime. And he has been tried on the basis of that evidence, and he has been convicted, and he has been sentenced to life imprisonment.
Well, Saurabh, we will keep tracking this story very closely with you. We'll of course have to wait and see whether CBI appeals to a higher court or not. This judgment is open to appeal, so lots of different layers of the case will perhaps also unveil before us over the next few hours. We will get to know more and get our viewers all that we know about this story. For now, we know that the accused in Kolkata rape and murder case, Sanjay Roy, has been subjected to life imprisonment, and he'll have to pay up a penalty of 50,000 rupees. He escaped death penalty in this Arjikar rape and murder case. With that, a quick break on the show. More on the other side. Stay tuned.
Hello, Moto.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
All set for Trump 2.0. Countdown to January 20th. Terror shadow, visa wars. All the twists and turns. Tracking Trump takeover. Every day at 10:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
Hello and welcome to the best of the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
For 2 decades, NDTV has been a window to the world's greatest thinkers, leaders, Nobel laureates and stars at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
From Bill Gates to Shakira to Randy Zuckerberg to top ministers to what is often the biggest story, India, a global economic powerhouse. Conversations around our greatest challenges, from AI to wars to sustainability. Join us, NDTV's Vishnu Shom and me, Neeraj Shah, as we engage with the world's finest. NDTV at Davos from January 20th to January 25th.
All set for Trump 2.0. Countdown to January 20th. Terror shadow, visa wars. All the twists and turns. Tracking Trump takeover. Every day at 10:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं.
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी.
Mahakumbh, the festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
Attention, please. Delhi Election Metro 2025 is arriving on People's Platform.
the gap.
BJP or AAP, who will get to the Delhi Secretariat station?
दरवाजे बाईं तरफ खुलेंगे.
Who will Delhi voters open the victory doors for? And who will be shown the door? Can the BJP throw AAP's victory run off track? Or will it be Kejriwal's ticket to win again? Can Congress take the election metro to revival? We will track it all for you. Delhi's decision destination.
Doors will open on the left.
Stay tuned to NDTV for mega metro poll coverage.
Welcome back. Donald Trump will return to the White House as the new US president almost 4 years after he pledged to return to the US Capitol in some form after the infamous riots of January 2021. The inauguration will take place at 10:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Trump, whose first term lasted from 2017 to 2021, had refused to attend the inauguration of Joe Biden, who defeated him in 2020. He left Washington for Florida ahead of the ceremony, vowing that he will come back in some form. Trump has broken with precedent and invited several foreign leaders to the ceremony. Historically, they have not attended the inauguration due to security concerns and have sent diplomats instead. Argentina's president, a strong supporter of Trump, has said that he will attend according to reports. Italian Prime Minister has said that she hopes to attend as well. Chinese president is not attending despite an invitation but is sending a senior envoy. Trump advisor Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, Jeff Bezos, executive chairman of Amazon, and Mark Zuckerberg, CEO of Meta Platforms, are also attending. Hours before he will be sworn into office, Donald Trump has promised to sign a host of executive orders on his first day as president. These include those related to immigration, border security, energy, and governance. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar says that the inauguration of US President Donald Trump, which he will attend, could have profound consequences for the global order, spelling out some of the challenges and opportunities India could face over the next 4 years. The incoming Trump administration, in fact, could impact India, particularly when it comes to trade and immigration rules. An Indian student from Hyderabad, Teja Ravi, has been shot dead in Washington, D.C. He has reportedly been shot dead at a gas station. He went to US in 2022 to pursue a master's degree. My colleague Uma Sudhir has more.
So 26-year-old Ravi Teja had gone to the US in 2022 to pursue a master's degree, and he was at a gas station in Washington, D.C. when this shooting incident has taken place, in which his life has been lost, and his family, which stays in Hyderabad, Chaitanya Puri, they have been informed, and obviously they are devastated. And the father says this kind of a fate should not befall anyone, because anyone who's going to the US is going with those dreams of a good life in America, and the dollar dream is there. And then for something so unfortunate to happen is something that has shocked the neighborhood and the country itself, because huge numbers of students in fact go every year, and it's only in 23-24 that India in fact surpassed every other nation to send the highest number of students to the US. More than 3.31 lakh students go from India to the US. More than any other country, it's the Indians who are in the highest numbers, and the Telugu states as well go in huge numbers. And just in 2024, I must point out that there have been as many as 11 deaths of students in the US, and out of them at least 8, and this is the 9th incident where you are talking about an unnatural death. In some of those cases, it has not been very clearly established what happened, but many of them are also unnatural deaths, and therefore the concern among families here about students going to the US to pursue higher studies and becoming victim of violence there. Back to you.
Time now for a quick break on the show. More on the other side. Stay tuned.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Mahakumbh, the festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
All set for Trump 2.0. Countdown to January 20th. Terror shadow, visa wars. All the twists and turns. Tracking Trump takeover. Every day at 10:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
Hello and welcome to the best of the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
For 2 decades, NDTV has been a window to the world's greatest thinkers.
In Bollywood actor Saif Ali Khan's stabbing case, the suspected is expected to be taken to the residence of the actor in Bandra to recreate the crime scene today. More details of the crime have emerged. As per sources, the police were able to nab the accused after he had made a UPI payment at a stall in Varli for food. His number was traced to Thane by the cops. He had gone to Thane after Varli. Now, do remember the Mumbai police was granted 5 days police custody of Mohammad Shariful Islam Shehzad. The police is still investigating the case. As per the accused reportedly entered the house through a broken grill in the bathroom window of Jahangir's room and escaped the same way.
First, that we're very, very happy that he's recovering well, and we're very thankful, and we feel very blessed and grateful that it wasn't any worse. And thank you for all your wishes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, story on the upcoming Delhi election. The BJP and Aam Aadmi Party are at it again with new posters. BJP has taken the Ghoshna Mantri jibe at Kejriwal. Aap asks, who's the BJP's groom as far as Delhi is concerned?
मनीष जी 13, 15, 20 अभी हम नेहरू नगर के इलाके में हैं। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया सर, थैंक यू सो मच। तो ये अभी डोर टू डोर कैंपेनिंग में थे। आज फ़ायदा ये हुआ है कि थोड़ा धूप है तो आसानी से डोर टू डोर कैंपेनिंग हो पा रही है। और मनीष जी को हमने बीच में पकड़ा तो हमने कहा थोड़ा चाय जब वो पियेंगे इतनी देर में हम बात भी कर लेंगे। ये चाय की दुकान जरा दिखा दीजिए आप इनको। यहाँ पर ये चाय की दुकान है, बिल्कुल नेहरू नगर अगर आप एंटर करते हैं तो वहीं पर ये सोनू टी स्टॉल है, वहीं पर हम इस वक्त बैठे हुए हैं। पर सर ये बताइए 13, 15, 20 क्या ये मनीष सिसोदिया और आम आदमी पार्टी का सबसे कठिन चुनाव है?
हर चुनाव मुझे तो कठिन ही लगा है और हमने यही मान के लड़ा है कि चुनाव कठिन है, पूरी ताकत से लड़ना है, कहीं भी किसी भी गलतफहमी में नहीं रहना है कि नहीं चिंता मत करो। काम किया है पर लोगों के बीच जाना और वोट मांगना और उनसे डिस्कस करना कि हमारा विजन क्या है, उनकी ज़रूरत क्या है, उसका सॉल्यूशन क्या है, उस सब पे चर्चा करना, वो नहीं करेंगे तो कठिन ही है।
लेकिन a lot of people would say कि थोड़ा सा जब आप सत्ता में रहते हैं ना तो एक एडेड फैक्टर आपके खिलाफ काम करना शुरू करता है, वो होता है एंटी इनकम्बेंसी। भाई आप जब लोगों के लिए काम करेंगे तो कुछ लोगों को वो काम पसंद आएंगे, कुछ को नहीं आएंगे, कुछ को लगेगा सरकार हमारी बातें सुन रही है, कुछ को लगेगा नहीं सुन रही है। तो इस बार अब मोटा मोटा 10 साल की 11 साल की एंटी इनकम्बेंसी भी आपके खिलाफ काम कर रही है, तो आपको लगता है कि और फिर एमसीडी भी इस बार आपके पास थी, तो अब वो नहीं कह सकते कि देखिए एमसीडी बीजेपी की है।
नहीं, वो तो हम ये कूड़े के पहाड़ों को छोड़ के बाकी सब पे तो साफ सफाई से लेके एमसीडी के सारे काम 2015 से हम नहीं कराए हैं। 10,000 किलोमीटर की सड़कें एमसीडी की हमने बनवाई तब जब एमसीडी हमारे पास नहीं थी। तो हमने कभी ये काम में कोताही नहीं की कि एमसीडी हमारे पास नहीं है तो दिल्ली में सड़कें हम नहीं बनवाएंगे एमसीडी वाली। दिल्ली में पीडब्ल्यूडी की तो 1300 किलोमीटर की सड़क है, लेकिन 10,000 किलोमीटर की तो एमसीडी की सड़कें केजरीवाल सरकार के समय में बनी हैं, जो केजरीवाल जी की सरकार ने बनवाई हैं। एंटी इनकम्बेंसी थोड़ा बहुत रहता है निश्चित रूप से, वो तो 4 दिन बाद से लोगों के उसमें शुरू हो जाता है। भाई मैं परसों आपसे मिला था, आपने वो काम नहीं किया या उस पर वो रेस्पॉन्स नहीं दिया। लेकिन एक फ़ायदा ये है कि 10 साल में जब आप काम करते हो ना, ख़ास तौर से स्कूल, अस्पताल, बिजली, पानी, तीर्थ यात्रा, फ्री बस सर्विस, इतने सारे काम केजरीवाल सरकार के समय पे हुए हैं। एक्सीडेंट विक्टिम्स के लिए मदद, हर योजना का बेनिफिशियरी कहीं ना कहीं बैठा है। उसकी कहीं कोई छोटी मोटी शिकायत भी है तो उसको कॉन्फिडेंस केजरीवाल जी पे ही है अपनी शिकायत के प्रति भी कि मेरी शिकायत होगी तो केजरीवाल जी की सरकार ही ठीक करेगी, ये उसको कॉन्फिडेंस है।
सच्चाई लेते रहिएगा, बेचार ठंडी हो जाएगी। पर मैं आपसे ये पूछना चाहूँगा क्योंकि बहुत सारी चीज़ें आपसे बात करने को हैं। पिछली बार जब आप चुनाव लड़ रहे थे, उप मुख्यमंत्री मनीष सिसोदिया चुनाव लड़ रहे थे। ओहदा बड़ी चीज़ होती है मनीष जी, मतलब एक लोग देखते हैं कि भाई देखिए ये मंत्री जी हैं, इनको वोट देंगे तो हमारा काम जल्दी हो जाएगा, कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी की तरक्की जल्दी हो जाएगी। इस बार मनीष सिसोदिया उप मुख्यमंत्री नहीं है। मनीष सिसोदिया के जीवन में पिछले 2 साल में ज़बरदस्त उतार चढ़ाव आए हैं, तो उसका फ़ायदा हो रहा है या नुकसान हो रहा है?
नहीं, फ़ायदा नुकसान उसका कुछ मुझे दिख नहीं रहा है ऐसा। मैं जहाँ भी जा रहा हूँ तो इस विधानसभा में, जंगपुरा विधानसभा में, मुझे हर कॉलोनी में कोई ना कोई परिवार, कोई ना कोई बच्चे गली से निकल के ऐसे आ जाते हैं जो कहते हैं जी मैं तो स्कूल में था जब आप आते थे, मेरे स्कूल में मैं पढ़ा हुआ हूँ। या अभी मैं कल किसी स्लम्स में घूम रहा था, वहाँ कोई अपनी लड़की को लेके आया, मतलब उसके घर से आगे निकल गया, बोले जी मेरी तो बेटी DU में पढ़ रही है सिर्फ इसलिए क्योंकि आपके स्कूल अच्छे हो गए थे। तो यहाँ के जंगपुरा विधानसभा के स्कूलों में मैंने तब काम किया जब मैं यहाँ से विधायक नहीं था, और हज़ारों हज़ार परिवार ऐसे हैं जिनके बच्चों को अच्छी एजुकेशन मिली है। फिर बात मेरी नहीं है, बात बिजली के बिल 0 आ रहे हैं बहुत घरों में, 24 घंटे बिजली को लोग मानते हैं। लोगों को याद है कि इन्वर्टर का युग खत्म हुआ तो केजरीवाल जी की वजह से खत्म हुआ। तो ये सारी चीज़ें कहीं ना कहीं क्लब होके एक प्लस पॉइंट दे रही हैं।
That was Manish Sisodia, who is now fighting from the Jangpura Assembly constituency. Earlier, he had won from Patparganj in 2020. Manish Sisodia says that there is anti-incumbency, but Aam Aadmi Party is giving it all, and that the fact that voters have faith in the AAP government. Moving on, Uttarakhand is set to implement the UCC. Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami had announced the implementation of the Uniform Civil Code starting January 2025. The state has completed preparations including a dedicated portal and mobile application for online services. Dhami said that the state has done its homework for the implementation. Uttarakhand is said to become the country's first state to implement the UCC after independence. He instructed the officials to ensure proper training of the personnel besides arranging all kinds of basic facilities to implement the provisions of the code. He also asked the officials to keep maximum services online to avoid chances of inconveniences for the public.
हमने ये वायदा किया था कि हम सबसे पहले सरकार बनने के बाद पहला काम करेंगे, यूसीसी का विधेयक लाएंगे। हम यूसीसी का विधेयक लेकर आए और उस पर सभी ड्राफ्ट कमेटी ने ड्राफ्ट बनाया, विधेयक पास हुआ, राष्ट्रपति महोदय की मंजूरी मिल गई, एक्ट बन गया। एक्ट बनने के बाद प्रशिक्षण की जो प्रक्रिया है वह भी हमारी लगभग पूरी हो गई है और आज माननीय मंत्रिमंडल में इस बात पर हमने चर्चा करी है कि जल्दी से जल्दी हम उसका डेटों का चूँकि सारी तैयारी होने के बाद, क्योंकि भारतवर्ष में सबसे पहले यूसीसी लागू करने वाला राज्य देवभूमि उत्तराखंड बनने जा रहा है, तो सभी चीज़ों की समीक्षा करने के बाद हम जल्दी ही डेटों का ऐलान करेंगे।
Now, a magisterial inquiry has held 5 policemen responsible for the custodial death of Akshay Shinde, accused in the Badlapur school sexual assault case. The report was submitted in a sealed cover to the Bombay High Court, which was hearing a plea filed by Shinde's father, Anna Shinde, claiming that the police had killed his son in a fake encounter. The officials involved included Senior Police Inspector Sanjay Shinde of the Thane Crime Branch, Assistant Police Inspector Nilesh More, Head Constables Abhijit More and Harish Tawade, and a police driver. Time now for a quick break. On the show, on the other side, more international news. Stay tuned.
All set for Trump 2.0. Countdown to January 20th. Terror shadow, visa wars. All the twists and turns. Tracking Trump takeover. Every day at 10:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं.
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी.
Mahakumbh, the festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
Kind attention, please. Delhi Election Metro 2025 is arriving on People's Platform.
Please mind the gap.
BJP or AAP, who will get to the Delhi Secretariat station?
दरवाजे बाईं तरफ खुलेंगे.
Who will Delhi voters open the victory doors for? And who will be shown the door? Can the BJP throw AAP's victory run off track? Or will it be Kejriwal's ticket to win again? Can Congress take the election metro to revival? We will track it all for you. Delhi's decision destination.
Doors will open on the left.
Stay tuned to NDTV for mega metro poll coverage.
Well, I mean, all the
Israel released 90 Palestinian prisoners hours after Hamas handed over 3 Israeli hostages, completing the first successful exchange under a ceasefire aimed at ending more than 15 months of war in Gaza that has killed over 40,000 people. Hamas on Sunday released 3 hostages, all women, who were held in Gaza since the Palestinian group's attack on the Israeli towns on the 7th of October last year. Israel, as per deal, released 90 Palestinian prisoners from its jails. A total of 33 hostages taken by Hamas during its deadly attack will be returned from Gaza during an initial 42-day truce. Negotiations over a second phase of the agreement will begin on the 16th day of the phase 1 and are likely to include release of all the remaining hostages. A third phase is expected to include the return of all the remaining dead bodies and start of Gaza's reconstruction.
This is one of the toughest negotiations I've been part of. Many of you who followed these negotiations will attest that the road to this deal has been not easy at all, a long road. But we've reached this point today because of the pressure Israel built on Hamas, backed by the United States. But I concluded abandoning the course I was on would not have led us to the ceasefire we're seeing today. But instead, it would have risked a wider war in the region that so many feared. Now the region has been fundamentally transformed. Hamas's longtime leader, Sinwar, is dead. Hamas sponsors in the Middle East have been badly weakened by Israel, backed by the United States. Hezbollah, one of Hamas's biggest backers, was significantly weakened on the battlefield, and its leadership was destroyed.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Mahakumbh, the festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
All set for Trump 2.0. Countdown to January 20th. Terror shadow, visa wars. All the twists and turns. Tracking Trump takeover. Every day at 10:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
Hello and welcome to the best of the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
For 2 decades, NDTV has been a window to the world's greatest thinkers, leaders, Nobel laureates and stars at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
From Bill Gates to Shakira to Randy Zuckerberg to top ministers to what is often the biggest story. India, a global economic powerhouse. Conversations around our greatest challenges, from AI to wars to sustainability. Join us, NDTV's Vishnu Shom and me, Neeraj Shah, as we engage with the world's finest. NDTV at Davos from January 20th to January 25th.
All set for Trump 2.0. Countdown to January 20th. Terror shadow, visa wars. All the twists and turns. Tracking Trump takeover. Every day at 10:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
Good evening. You're watching the news with me, Tanima Biswas, here on NDTV 24/7. Over the next 1 hour, we'll get you all the top stories from across the country as well as the top international news. We're also covering in detail the verdict, the sentencing rather, which has come out from a Kolkata court on the RG Kaur rape and murder case. The convict has been sentenced to life imprisonment and that has already evoked strong reactions because the Kolkata court went on to say that this is